So, how many comments are too many comments, and how many comments are too few comments? Are no comments too few comments, or is that just right? Well, let's take a very simple example that I see quite a lot. We have a function to add two integers, a and b, and we return a plus b. Pretty standard function. I've actually seen the following. People will add a comment to the start of the function, a function to add two integers, and then they'll add a comment inside the function, add the integers, and return. Now, if you are somewhat proficient in programming, then you could read all that just by reading the function itself, right? So in the initial function, when I said add, that tells you what it's doing, and that's what a function name should do. And then the arguments should give a hint as to what it needs to perform that function, a and b. So it's going to add a and b, and it is going to return it. Now, when you are typing code and including this function in your code, you will see that signature, that's how we term this technically, that signature of the function that tells you everything you need to know. So those two comments are totally dead weight. And if anything, they serve to confuse people more than the original. So those are too many comments. In my opinion, you should use comments in the following way. At the top of your page of code, your class, whatever subdivision you have of code, explain that class and the overall functionality, where the functionality starts and where the functionality ends, right? So you are saying this is going to contain the following functionality. And I find if you have a class or something like that, it's difficult to encapsulate what a class does totally by the class name. Yes, you can capture a lot of it, maybe even most of it, but comments just help line the user up that's looking at your code later on. And that person could be you yourself, so you should get it right. So when you come back in 6 months, you know exactly what you were doing and what you need to do next. Okay, so if I was going to draw a chart as the final thing in this video of ideal versus real, ideally there are no comments because every function is named correctly, every variable is named correctly, and every class. But real life ain't like that. Real life is messy. So in real life, we have adequate comments. And I would say a block of commenting at the top of each page is enough. In very special cases, for example, if you have to do a workaround, I would put a comment in that code, near that code, saying, this is a workaround from what it should be because of X. So the user reading your code knows why that's not standard looking. Okay, I would call that adequate commenting. Don't be liberal with your comments, but do be correct in the naming of your functions, variables, and classes. Now, if you get asked this question in an interview, they don't really want to know how many comments you are going to put in or how many you won't put in. What they want to know is that you are communicative enough that another developer can pick up your workload without too much hassle. So you can say to them, I like to put comments at the top page of a class that I'm creating and comments where necessary, absolutely necessary, further down the page if the function name or variable name doesn't encapsulate what that function or variable is for. And that should sort you out really well in the interview.